Hello there. It is November 13th, and this is Indy Scavenger newsletter here on Periodical Paradise. Thank you for tuning in, and we're going to do a little bit of comic book talk in just a minute. First, I wanted to say thank you to any of the new subscribers that have come in that have made all of this more worth it. I am continuing to do everything I can think of to spread the word, get more viewers, so that when I talk about an indie comic, it gets some results for the creators that have sent it in to me to try and promote it. So, this week I am dipped back into my space bag from the show earlier this year, and I picked out a full-size comic from a gentleman that I know fairly well. He's worked on um, IndieFest magazine and periodical, or not periodical, but self-publisher magazine before that. Um, he has a very interesting comic that I'd like to share with everybody. Um, and so let's get right into it. Um, I have two issues of it. It's from Head Shrinkers Press, and Nichi Hawkins is the creator behind it. The first issue I'm showing you is called Landslide Roots, and it is a collection of shorter stories about the landslide character, which is that very large earthen monster type creature. Um, Nichi Hawkins is the writer. Um, we have colors by Bolaji Olaloy. Oloy? Olaloy? Um, um, and we've got other stories by the same person with um, artwork by A.C. Rillo. We have lettering by Micah Myers and somebody that I also know very well, Michael Nino. Other artwork, Gasper Orico, Ricardo Aznea, and Bolaja Aloy. I can't pronounce that name that very well, but that's all right. This issue is from 2016, and all in all, I really like the coloring in it. The artwork is fantastic. Um, I really like the just the earthen feel to it, and the colors are very vibrant and otherwise um, very good on the eyes. We're out in the jungle. The stories all take place in um, out in the world settings and deal a lot with respecting the planet. Um, and it's a very personal subject for Nichi. I know that from just knowing him over the years. The layouts, the artwork, and the stories all mesh together very well and bring out um, what he's intending to do. Um, I like a lot of the blues that he uses for nighttime and different aspects of the monster himself. Looks like a monster, but is still a force of nature type of thing. So this issue has 3 different stories in it, and they deal with, like I said, Earth issues. I don't really want to give it all away, but it's very good stuff. I highly recommend Nichi's work on this issue. I think one of the things I liked the most was this. It was a very Son of Kong moment in the second story where there's a hand sticking out of the water, help me, kind of thing, which I appreciated just as a child having watched Son of Kong and going, "Oh, that poor little Kong monster guy." But anyway, uh, so that is the Roots issue. I also have the Landslide issue number 1, which came out in 2017. Also from Head Shrinkers Press, which is Nikki's baby. The whole story here was um, written by Nikki again. Pencils and inks, Armando C. Rillo Sr. Um, colors by Balaji Olaloy, um, whose name I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing even close to correctly. Letters by Michael Nino again. And this story is a full story for the whole issue and is going to continue in the series. I am not sure how far along he is past issue 1. I would assume that since this came out in 2017 that there's at least 1 or 2 more at this point that you can go find. I will put in, if I do it correctly, there'll be maybe a link somewhere on the screen here. Otherwise, it'll be down below if I don't figure it out. But anyway, um, it's really good work. The artwork really fits the tone of the comic that it's trying to create. Um, the creature in this issue has kind of attached himself to a person and follows him around, causing havoc in his life. But it's because of something that he's done to want to save the planet, basically, because he's been wronged by people who are destroying it. So, I mean, it's got some really good features. The artwork and the layouts come through really nice. The pacing of the story comes out good. And even the pages that have no words whatsoever or just a few, you still have lots to look at and think about as you see what's going on in each individual panel. So the artwork's great, story's great. You gotta like it. There's nothing I can say bad about this comic, except for a few small production things that I would advise for the future that they work on for layouts. Like I can show this here if you look at it really carefully. This line starts off cut right there, but then you can see white and you can see more white and you see more white. That's one of those no things that I try and advise people against. And if I was still running my printing service, I would have told them to shrink that down just a little bit so that you wouldn't have a gutter that turns into a wedge like that when it gets printed, because anything that you put up against that kind of an edge, that can happen too. But I mean, it's not a huge thing. That's kind of a nitpicky thing. It looks more professional when you don't have that kind of a thing in it. So you can see on that panel too, down towards the very bottom, that there's a little bit of white. Yeah, I'm not moving this very well. But those kind of things aren't horrible. They're more, I'm hoping that you learned from doing that, that some people will look at it and go, amateur did that, but you don't really, some people like it. Hey, it's an indie. What can you do? You live and you learn. So I would have made this particular splash page. I mean, since we're able to obviously use the bleeds, we should have set them up, or you should have set them up differently so that the bleeds would have cut properly and actually not had that little tiny white thin line all the way around it, which those kind of things, you can learn them, and hopefully you have and will. Um, I'd offer, since I know you, Nikki, and I know you're probably going to watch this, that if you want me to look at the files and tell you how they didn't come out right, I'd be happy to do that, because I'd do that for probably anybody if they really asked me to, because I don't really do that much else these days. So yeah, Landslide, really good comic. I think you should check it out. That's pretty much all I have for this week here on the Indy Scavenger newsletter. I do know a couple people have told me that they're sending me stuff, so hopefully next week I'll have some brand new stuff that came in. Other than that, we're enjoying putting out a bunch of how-to videos on GIMP, and I'm going to be returning to doing that here presently, because I really have to get working on the colors for the next couple issues of Time Traveler and get those suckers out. So anyway, I appreciate that you have watched this episode, and if you would, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that share, and share it with whoever you think might be interested in Landslide, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to promote people's small press stuff, and this one's really worth it. I really like it, and I like pretty much all the creators that are involved with it, even the ones that I haven't personally met and can't pronounce their names. But anyway, it's a good comic. Check it out. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.